All right, coffee gear ready to go. Already pre-ground the coffee. It was the rest of the coffee, and I messed up the intro, so we're starting this over again. It's okay. We're not going to be perfect, and that's good. That's a part of it. This weekend, I did something crazy. I streamed all 3 days. I streamed Friday night for 3 hours, Saturday all day for 8 hours, and then Sunday for another 6. I tried to go 8, but I couldn't do it. That's not me. And I'll explain a lot more about that here in a second. This weekend, the reason why I did it was because the new Indiana Jones game came out, a game that I was going to skip because I was like, oh no, they're releasing it early, boo. No. I got really on my high horse. While it is dumb that they would release a game early access at the beginning of a weekend and then release it on a Monday at standard. That's stupid and they shouldn't do that. Whatever, dude. I made a big stink about it. But the game itself all weekend was great. That's not exactly what I want to talk about today. First off, I streamed 3 days on Twitch. Too much. Way too much. And there's something crazy I'm trying to do on Twitch right now. I'm trying to add a category. You'll see a link in the description. That category is called Coffee and Tea. At the beginning of my Twitch streams, if you've ever made it, since they're in the mornings now, 5 a.m. Pacific time, over at JDX Coffee, twitch.tv/JDX Coffee, the beginning of my streams always start with me chit-chatting, making some coffee, answering questions about coffee, recommending coffee gear, going over recipes, even going over brew methods live on stream. Let me know in the comments if you would like me to actually do coffee classes, and I'll release coffee videos. I was thinking about once every other week or something along those lines. Let me know in the comments. But I'm trying to create a category. In order to create a category, I have to submit a category recommendation, which is going to be the link below. All it takes is 2 steps. Step 1, log into your Twitch account. Step 2, vote. And that vote button makes it upvoted. I'm trying to get 1,000 upvotes. More would be great, but I'm trying to get 1,000 upvotes so that people or Twitch sees that this is something that people want. You can go ahead and leave a comment that helps, something about the reason why you think this would be a good idea. And if you want to follow me on Twitch, you can do that as well, but don't feel obligated. If you would at least help me get a category that's dedicated to coffee and tea, that would be super cool. Because what I learned this weekend about streaming is there are multiple ways to do it, but there are really 2 specific categories of streamers that I resonate with. I wouldn't say I resonate with them, but I think exist in this space. Serious streamers, mind you, not the casual. There's the stereotypical streamer, the person who is there for 8 hours, 5 to 7 days a week, or longer, or more, however you want to look at it. That person, I would say, is like Starbucks. You can find them streaming popular games, unpopular games, whatever. They're just always there. Something that you can kind of rely on in a certain way, but they're just going to be absolutely everywhere. What I noticed is that approach to streaming is kind of like an older style, something that we had grown to become used to, and is kind of the think that when you think streamer, you think all day, every day. And that's what I thought I was going to try to do. I was going to try the Starbucks method, but that doesn't make sense because I'm not a Starbucks type of person. I'm someone who goes to specialty coffee. Specialty coffee is a very different experience. Specialty coffee, for the most part, opens not at 5 a.m. and doesn't stay open until 9 p.m. It doesn't stay open 365, maybe 364 if they close on Christmas. No, specialty coffee is very different. They open anytime between 6 and 7. When they open, they usually take quite a while to make drinks. They're not pumping them out real quick because specialty coffee takes care of the craft. It's a very different experience. They close early too. They close between 3 and 4 p.m. Sometimes 5 if you got a late one, but really they don't stay open till the wee hours of the morning. There is always that exception. There always is, but for the most part, specialty coffee stays open for a shorter amount of time. And some, my favorite specialty coffee spot of all time, Rapport Coffee Roasters, they don't even stay open all 7 days a week. They're actually closed on Sundays, which I think is great. That's something I learned this weekend too, is like, I'm not going to stream on Sundays, even if it's like something crazy. Like I'm not going to stream Sundays. Sundays are family day. That was kind of a bummer realization. My family left to go get dinner with my extended family, and I was at home streaming. I'm like, this isn't the right play. But that was something that I was thinking about. I'm like, man, what did I learn from this weekend? What did I learn from this gaming? Well, first off, I learned that maybe not all AAA games are bad. Maybe not all studios are bad. Maybe Microsoft can actually make a good game. And some people were commenting and just basically quoting IGN in the comment section, being like, oh, AI, blah, 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 or quoting some sort of reviewer online. Play the game. I played the game for 8 plus 6 plus 3 minus, let's just say I played for 15 hours. Of those 15 hours, I can say that there are some things that are interesting. Mind you, I am playing on the hardest difficulty, or one step down from hard difficulty. First thing, the AI, unpredictable in some ways, predictable in others, but they get out of the way of actually experiencing the game. The game itself is fun. It is actually very much so Indiana Jones. Indiana Jones is not a gun-slinging, sharp-shooting, guns-a-blazing kind of character. Though it happens. Usually, if Indiana is firing his weapon, it's to make a joke, like when he shoots the gun at the guy who has the sword flailing everywhere, or he's just trying to get out of a sticky situation, and coming out guns a-blazing, just shooting his way out of something that he got stuck in is the best option for him. But for the most part, he's using fisticuffs, his crazy super whip, and his intellect. That is the majority of this game. It's puzzle solving. It's kind of making sure you don't get caught, because a gunfight's not going to do you that well inside of something, the hard difficulty. That's the game. And it feels like someone who is a huge fan of Indiana Jones myself really got to experience something that's special. But mostly what I experienced was the care that they had towards the character, from the smirks to the shoulder movements, even the motion. I don't know how they did a motion cap. I don't know who did it. They really took care of the character. And I think in games as a whole, there are 3 really big things that we have been missing as in this industry, and that is good story, right? Not a story that is using modern day ideologies, social issues, whatever, and pumping it into the actual period piece. I mean, it would be weird to have 2024 problems in 1936. Though some may happen, we don't have 2024 problems in 1936. We have 1936 problems in 2024. There was a period game, and it would be odd to include some of those specific issues. So, 1, doesn't have that. It is very, very period accurate. At least it feels that way. 2, something I found to be very, very, very refreshing. It had a decent, if not arguably good script. Like, incredible script. The conversations between Indy and the other characters were like the movies. His way of reacting to the characters trying to tag along were awesome. Honestly, the relationships that we see build throughout the game were something that reminded me of games that I used to play when I was a kid. Not just because it was Indiana Jones and I'm fascinated or completely engulfed in the archaeologist's adventure, but rather it's this exciting feeling of playing a game that is reminiscent of 2010, 2007. It's just a good story. You don't have to be a lover of Indiana Jones to enjoy this game, though it does help. And some would argue that liking Indiana Jones does make the game tremendous. And not being an Indiana Jones fan may leave you in this puzzle game. If you like puzzle games, it's a very good puzzle game. Also, it's not super easy. It's not waymarker expansive. It doesn't just drop you off and tell you where to go. You kind of have to discover stuff and read, which is another thing that I was missing in modern day video games. But the third thing that I think is present that really has grabbed me and is the reason why Black Myth Wukong was so enjoyable and I'm enjoying Path of Exile is because of good gameplay mechanics. These 3 in tandem, if they show up, you have a good game. We haven't been able to do that. I don't know what it is with the industry over these past few years, but it seems like there's been a hyper focus on trying to modernize the ideas in games and not such a good focus on keeping the game's worlds pure. So when it comes to gameplay mechanics, when I played The game itself, it felt clean. It felt fluid, moving around, running around, having stamina deplete, but not too much, having your health actually feel like it's weighty. Again, I was playing on hard mode, so it could be different if I'm playing on easy mode, but the game itself really does take care to make the experience immersive, and I think that that's something that I really enjoy. Part of the reason why I like certain genres is because they're either A, immersive, or B, the story is so compelling, I just want to know the next chapter. That's something that I loved about Final Fantasy 16. It was so unbelievably enthralling. Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth, for me, was more of an addiction. I want to get the next node. I want to feel the next thing, a completionist's addiction. And that got tiring. And I feel like games as a whole have been pumping themselves full of these little waymarker and orbs to fill to tell you that you 100%ed it. For me, that's not my favorite. I recently started playing Path of Exile, and I probably am going to try to play it this week to see if it's something I'm going to hold on to as a streamed game. But the reason why I wanted to play it was because I didn't want to play it. I didn't want to play it because I don't like ARPGs. At least that's what I told myself. I didn't want to play it because people who knew me said, you won't like it. You're not going to enjoy it. And I believed them because I don't like ARPGs. Well, I didn't like Souls-like games, and I played Black Myth Wukong, and it was my game of the year. I didn't like cinematic games that you just press X to continue. But I'm here playing games like Final Fantasy 16 and Indiana Jones. And most of all, I don't like ARPGs because they're top-down, boring PC gamer nonsense. And here I am playing Path of Exile, and it is great. What I realize is it's not that I don't like these genres, it's just that those genres weren't what I enjoyed 5-10 years ago. But to be fair, they weren't as good as they are now 5 to 10 years ago. Sure, Diablo 2 apparently is like the pinnacle of ARPGs, but back then, I was more into Final Fantasy, or Dragon Quest, I guess, or Zelda. These genres, what they needed was they needed to not be gate-kept by only playing Elden Ring without any sort of spirits to help you, or whatever they're called. Co-op, whatever. What are the summons? Only playing World of Warcraft and not doing a certain thing. Whatever. Only playing a Souls-like and playing on the hardest difficulty. If you play it on easy, then you're not really playing the game. These kinds of things, this kind of gatekeeping has kept me out as a gamer. And as someone who looks to enjoy new experiences, I have, over these past few months with the PC, well, PC's only been a month now, I have only been playing new experiences. The 3 games now that I played on, on the PC that have really transformed my experience, all 3 of them were outside of the actual genres I liked. Souls-like, Black Myth Wukong. And if you're saying that Black Myth Wukong isn't a Souls-like game, kick rocks, dude. Honestly, stop gatekeeping. Get over it. Next, Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, which actually runs better on PC. The visuals are incredible. My PC can handle it. It is a stunning masterpiece. But it's a cinematics game. It's like, press A to continue. Watch 3 hours of cinematics. I can't stop. I'm completely captivated. And lastly, Path of Exile. An ARPG. A game that is harder than Diablo 4. That is more aggressive, more complicated, a higher barrier of entry, although it's apparently easier than Path of Exile 1 to get into. Whatever it may be, all 3 games outside of the area that I wanted to play. All 3 games I'm enjoying more than I thought I would. And all 3 games have taught me one very, very valuable lesson. It's that my taste can change. Our tastes can change. When it comes to gaming, it isn't the genre that leads our experience, but rather it's the games that do it. Look at Balatro. It's a card game that includes roguelike, I don't know if it's light or like, but roguelike mechanics, and has become nominated for Game of the Year. It's a freaking cell phone game, for goodness sakes, or whatever you want to call those, smartphone. Crazy. Look at Metal Slug Tactics a tactic-based game that also incorporates roguelike, the roguelike genre. It is not the genre that should dictate. It's not something like I only play JRPGs, which I have tried to hold fast to and have found myself more and more fleeing from the genre because I'm defining myself as that genre. I said something on stream this morning, which was, we aren't defined by the things we do, but we are defined by who we are. We should not be defined by the things we participate in. I am not a JRPG guy. I am not a PC gamer. I am not a Nintendo gamer. I am not fill in the blank. Rather, I do these things. And what gaming has taught me over these past just few weeks, if not couple of months, is that I am stubborn. I am closed-minded. I am someone who has found myself fleeing from new experiences to hold on to a comfort in old ones. Now, nostalgia is beautiful. It's why the Indiana Jones game is freaking making me so stoked, because I'm nostalgic for it. But there's something so cool about experiencing new things, about looking to new ways to understand. And just like coffee, trying new varietals. I'm not someone who likes natural coffees, but over the past year, I've had 3 or 4 natural coffees that I've found to actually adore. That's why I'm a part of this coffee subscription, and this coffee subscription just sends me coffees. I don't get to choose. I have it on random. I let them decide based on what I like and dislike. Every time I get a coffee, I like it or dislike it, and they refine it. If you're into that sort of thing, there's a link below to try it out. I get a free bag. You get a free bag on your first one. You can cancel right after, and that affiliate link is not, I'm not actually affiliated with them. It's one that you get to and you can send to your friends. Yeah, I'm just using whatever they give to everybody. But the idea of trying new things for me has been, I think, really special. And the PC is the first step for me. I have historically been someone who has demonized PC gaming. Been like, it's a waste of time and money when consoles can do as good as they do, which they are very good. The PC opened the door. Black Myth opened the door to a new genre that I never thought I would experience, which then led me to trying games like Indiana Jones, which is one that I would have never actually gotten into because it's a first-person game, and first-person games aren't my favorite. This one, I would actually prefer it in first to third because it makes you feel immersed in the experience. They do a very good job. Lastly, I'm playing Path of Exile, a huge MMO-based game, ARPG. Literally everything about that game, I would say, not for me. And I forced myself to stop playing it because I'm like, I got to get a cup done. I haven't posted a cup in a while. It just comes down to not being stubborn. And for me, I'm excited to share that experience with whoever wants to join me on Twitch. Make sure you upvote this because I want to get a coffee and tea category. It'd be so crazy for us to play games and hang out in a coffee and tea category. How cool would that be? That'd be awesome, right? All right. See you guys over on the streams, 5 a.m. Monday through Thursday. Community days here and there, but make sure you're there to hear when those community days are. And as always, play more and be kind. See ya.